Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another Mastering the Machine webinar from the Automation Academy for September 10th, 2022. Today's topic is a new, I don't know what you'd call it, a social site, a community for the Automation Academy and for the public. I've decided to make it available to everybody, and some people have already signed up. It's kind of in beta mode, so still just branded with the Automation Academy logo, but the ultimate name for this is going to be IO Central. And I had a poll on LinkedIn and had people submit some ideas, and this was the one that won out. And a fellow named Matthew Klein is the one who submitted the winning idea. And I had people kind of weigh in on their opinion of it. And this is kind of the one that came out on top. So IO Central will be the name. This is what remains of the old Automation Academy community. So originally I had put a community on my paid membership site, the Automation Academy, and it was hosted on Buddyboss, which is a plugin for WordPress. And people weren't really using it. You know, I probably have at any given time anywhere between 10, 15, 20 members, depending on who joins. It is a paid site, so not everybody just joins, but people weren't using it really. I mean, I would occasionally post something on there, put something in a group. People would sometimes chime in, but it really wasn't worth the money I didn't think that I was spending on it. So I discontinued it, I would say January this year. And I kind of missed it, right? Because I didn't have a way to message people other than leaving a kind of an update on the front page of the Automation Academy screen. And I felt less connected to people, even though people hadn't been using it before. So I tried to put it back. And my daughter actually owns a branding company, and she tried to put it back. They have web designers and people, you know, technical people, and it broke the website. It actually, there was an incompatibility between Buddyboss plugin and probably Divi or MemberPress or many of the other plugins that I have to use for the Automation Academy. So I asked her what the solution was, and she said, the best way to do that is to have another domain. You would have to actually create another installation of WordPress and make the theme Buddyboss. And that way there's no incompatibilities. Anything else that gets put on there would get put on top of Buddyboss. And if it doesn't work, you just have to basically delete whatever that plugin is. So the base of this new IO Central website is Buddyboss, and that's kind of what dictates the way everything works. So little introduction here, of course, the same thing I always do, explaining what is Mastering the Machine. In 2013, I created a document called Mastering the Machine, which is where the name comes from. And this document had to do with specification of machinery. Worked for a big machine builder company and kind of started providing information about how companies quote machines and things like that. And over time, it has evolved into a training and automation website. I had a blog for a long time, Automation Primer. I don't keep up with that much anymore. Then created my company a little after I created the blog, Left Right Industries, and started Automation LLC, and that's automationllc.com, which is the place where the Automation Academy itself is hosted. And it's evolved into this training and automation website. But this is not about the Automation Academy. As a matter of fact, this new website is as purposely disattached from the Automation Academy as I can possibly do. It's kind of important to do that. It really needs to be a standalone community. And so the Automation Academy itself, I've explained before, has a lot of training videos, job assistance, systems integration information, a lot of stuff in a library and videos, things like that. And people join and it does have a membership fee. And I'll explain a little bit how that ties into this site in a little bit. And so these Mastering the Machine webinars, I do these about every 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks. But the purpose of them, I interview different people, and they are the live events for the Automation Academy. So that's what this is. It's a live event where people can log in and we can talk about whatever the subject is, or I can interview people. Sometimes I have guests here. So 2 weeks ago, I had Brennan Duggar from Blue Collar Automation. We had a good time, got to talk a lot and that sort of thing. So that's what the Automation Academy itself is. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and drag over the IO Central website. So this is actually kind of the development page. So what you're seeing here is when I log in, of course, I'm an administrator. So you would see my development page. It's on a WordPress backbone. And then Buddyboss is the platform. It's a plugin on top of WordPress that runs this. So the basic idea behind this, behind really any of these social media sites or community sites, is that there would be groups. I'll show you the groups. So this is actually what you would see if you sign in here. Whoops, got the wrong screen up here. This is actually what you would see if you enter the group screen. Ignore the stuff. Actually, I'm not sure. This over on the left, I believe you can actually bring this up. So I'm not doing this, what they call incognito, as a private web server. Then I would see, right, I would be able to log in again, and I would look like a person coming into the website from the outside. So if you go to the home page, so I can choose the home page. Right now, the home page is the forums, right? So you see these tabs up here at the top. You have a forums tab, you have a groups tab, you have a members tab. So if I do the members tab, I get a list of all the different members. I can see here Beckhoff support. This is Ilias. He has a website called Beckhoff support. And so I put a Beckhoff group in here, and he joined my IO Central group. So this Automation Academy logo will be gone. Instead, there will be an IO Central logo up here. So it's still the Automation Academy's community. I'm not going to put another community back inside of the Automation Academy. I'm going to let this serve as the community, but the difference is this community is now exposed to everybody. So anybody can join, anybody can create a profile. I see Nikki here. She's pretty well known in the LinkedIn community. I forget the name of her company, but one of the things that she does is I think gets parts for people, like tracks down technical parts and things. So she might be a person, for instance, that might want to create a group, right, on this site. So here's the groups. So there's a Beckhoff group, for instance. Right now, I show up as the organizer for all the groups because I'm the one who's created them all to kind of start this up. PLC Next group, Siemens group, systems integrators, Beckhoff, Rockwell, Allen Bradley, all the normal things that you would see. And you can see here, different people have joined the different groups. So there's several members here. That's me. There's Matt. Matt is a co-worker at Automation NTH. Piotrek, yeah, Piotrek is and I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly, but we've talked in the past. He's a Siemens guy, so he does videos on TI Portal. So of course he would be a member of the Siemens group, right? Systems integrators, let's see, somebody else. Yeah, Evan is a member of Systems Integrators. Evan is actually working on starting his own company. He is up in Northwest Pennsylvania, between Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and starting a company. And so he might get something out of, for instance, the Systems Integrator group or the Entrepreneurs group. So one of the things that you can do when you join this site, if you like a group, you can invite other members to join that group. And then anything that is about that group's subject matter. For instance, Beckhoff, important. I'm actually learning Beckhoff right now. I'm studying Beckhoff a lot. So I grab every resource I can, including Beckhoff support, right? So Beckhoff support is another website. And that is probably something that I'll actually have Ilias on here at some point and explain his thinking about Beckhoff support. But it looks like a really good community if you need Beckhoff information. Also, there's another guy on here. Let's go to the Beckhoff group, and I'll show you a little bit about that. I've posted the only 2 posts on here. So let's see, feed. I think that's how you get to this. Yeah, so for instance, what you do is you can go, and there is a forum pretty much for every group. And you can go into the forum for that group and create a discussion. And so a couple of my posts, of course, I think I'm the only one who's actually created a topic or a post. One of the things that I posted here that is kind of useful is Beckhoff resources, right? So some of these are on the Beckhoff website itself, Beckhoff information system. I use that a lot, infosys.beckhoff.com, and you can click on this and you would go to that site. Beckhoff support, this is Ilias Kure, I think his name's pronounced that way. He just started this in August, unofficial Beckhoff support community. It's already a very good community. He has a lot of stuff that's more technical than I really even need to know. I'm not to that level on Beckhoff. I'm pretty advanced on Allen Bradley and Siemens, but Beckhoff, I'm a true rookie. So I created this group and I've put these resources on here, but I am not the person to ask about Beckhoff. So again, I'm hoping that eventually somebody comes into the Beckhoff group, and instead of me being the organizer, somebody else can be the organizer or the moderator, right? The admin of this group, somebody that knows Beckhoff better than I do. I'm working at it. I've built a Beckhoff trainer and I'm doing a little bit of programming on it. But 2 of the people that you should know about if you're ever a Beckhoff fan would be this Beckhoff support, Ilias Kure and Jacob Sagatowski's YouTube channels, who has very good tutorials. Another one that's pretty good is the TwinCat 3 tutorial on contact and coil. And I forget that fellow's name, Whitlock. I want to say Scott Whitlock. So anyway, I put these resources in here, and then I also, I believe I put, let's see, I put another post in there attached to this. Yeah, this one. So this is more of a technical post. This was one of the problems I had setting up the routing for TwinCat, right? So I posted this. And I also posted this on the Beckhoff support group. So obviously, this site is pretty new. So I don't have a whole ton of, stuff going on here yet. As time goes on and more people join, hopefully people will log into their interest groups and they can ask me questions. For instance, here's a group, right? If I go in here into the entrepreneurs group, do you start or own a business? Join this group, and people can answer questions about, even basic questions about starting a business. That's something that I've done now twice. Started the original Automation Consulting Services Inc. and grew that into a kind of a machine building company, and then closed that, went to work for somebody else for a while, and then reopened as Automation LLC, right? Automation Consulting LLC, different company, but it's just me. So for all you people trying to sell me services and want to do social media and all this stuff and bring me lots of customers, please don't do that. I'm one person. I have enough customers. I don't need any more. And I'm busy doing all this stuff, right? All this online stuff. So I really don't need people to contact me on, to sell me social media services. I've kind of got that covered, I suppose, here. But anyway, entrepreneurs group, system integrators group, right? So Evan has joined both of those systems integrators. I don't know if anybody else joined this. I know Jeff Buck was on here. No, nobody else has joined this yet. So again, really, really a new site. You know, you can sign in on this site already. Let's see, it is community.automationllc.com. Inside, of course, you can see all the little tabs up here. You can see activity feed. You can see individual members. Some of these screens are going to change, right? So this is me. You can use your nickname, whatever you log in as, right? You put your real name there, and then you enter a nickname. What do you want to be called on the site? And I use Automaticai on my YouTube channel, so I went ahead and adopted it for here to kind of be incognito. This is my daughter. She owns a company called Huckleberry Branding here in Nashville. She does a lot of branding work for mostly probably healthcare companies, but also, for instance, did the Tennessee Whiskey Trail and some other things. So that's kind of, she has web developers and branding people and graphic artists and people like that working for her. So she helps me a lot with this site. I'm technical, but I'm not that technical, right? I'm technical when it comes to certain brands of PLCs, but not all that technical on web development. And I'm an old guy, so you know I don't type very fast, and I don't know rudimentary coding in Python and C# and Java and all the different platforms. So I leave this kind of thing, developing this site, up to people like my daughter's company. So anyway, brand new site, going to have an IO Central logo up here. I drew some kind of SketchUps pictures. You know, I really want it to look different than this Automation Academy logo. You know, it's attached to the Automation Academy. If you go into the Academy and you click on Community, you will actually come out to this site, which is a different partitioned website, right, on the same domain of automationllc.com, but in a different section on its own install. So if you click inside the Automation Academy, you will come here. The landing page, which is where, when you sign in, right, if I go here, let's see, where is my sign in, sign up button? If I went incognito here, I believe I would have those buttons. But because I'm logged in as a admin, I don't have the buttons, but there is a sign in and sign up button up here. But you have to be just like you folks. You have to be an incognito or private user, and then you would end up, you know, landing here. And this eventually will have kind of a bigger header with the menu, the activity feed, the latest updates, right? You can see one of the things about the latest updates right now, you know, it's all mostly me and people who've joined, I suppose, you know, Nikki and Beckhoff support and people like that. It shows that I've created new groups. And this actually created a problem back on Thursday. I think we started this site, maybe it was Wednesday or Thursday. And the landing page was this, right? And what happened is when you went in on a phone or a link to this page, it actually had my face as the landing page, and I do not want that to be true. So now we land on the forums page. So you end up, I think, landing here, and at least it has big pictures of things, that sort of thing. A little more about the groups, and I'm still working on this. I don't know exactly what this is going to, how this is going to work. I like this list format, but because there are now, for instance, 15 groups, and I anticipate there may be hundreds of groups later, right? Because any brand of PLC, for instance, somebody may want to start a group. Or I'm going to drill down here and show you a little bit of what's in the global resources pages. So global resources has subpages, right? Global resources is anybody who has a company around the world. These are subdivided by continent. Okay, so if I look at subgroups, you can see here And I added the Automation Academy to this because it is a global resource, right? It is something that anybody from any country can, of course, join the Automation Academy. I've got members from, I think, maybe it's Egypt or Saudi Arabia, I think England, Australia. I've had members from there. So it's truly a global resource. But if you drill down, right? So for instance, Jacob Sagatowski is starting a company, and I would put him under the Europe resources, and I would even subdivide that further and say Germany resources, right? And that way, if somebody wants to find a resource in Germany for Beckhoff, they could maybe even cross-reference Germany and Beckhoff, and they would come up with Jacob's company. Show you a little more about that North America resource, and you see it's divided by state and province because I live here and I anticipate more, right, more traffic here. Once again, you have to click subgroups from here, and I don't like this. I'd rather, when you go to North America resources, that it shows everything. It shows Tennessee, for instance. It shows Ohio. It shows, California. If somebody joins from there and puts their resource under California, then it would show up automatically under that. So part of this is just a sample of what this is going to look like. If I go subgroups for North America resources, I get Tennessee. I click on Tennessee. I go to subgroups again, and there are two subgroups. And one is Automation NTH. They are a sponsor of what I do here. I actually do a lot of work for them. I spend some time at their plant. So this is their group, right? And they have a group here with their address, and their website will be here. And then my own company, Automation Consulting. And I put this here so that people can create their own groups, right? And this also potentially serves as a method of people to advertise their services. So you can see here, this is Tennessee, and then you can go back to North America Resources, and then you can go back from there into Global Resources, and right, people can drill down to find service providers in their own area. That's the idea behind that. The one problem with this, I like the little icons, I like the headers, the way that these are created. But if I go back to groups in general, the one thing that will need to be changed is, like I said, if I have hundreds of groups, you could see where this list would get really long, and then I need a way to click on global resources and see the subdirectories, right? The subheadings underneath those. So all this is still in process, still working on creating this site. It's brand new, so very much beta. I see John Witten's logged in. Hello, John. So this will say IO Central, right? Instead of Automation Academy. It is not, it's branded separately, kind of been through how that works. Forums, once again, every group has a forum. Actually, you can create a group without a forum. So for instance, I don't have a forum for Asia resources. There's really no point in creating that. But if you drill down, and I found a company in Japan that was advertising or had a group in Japan, they would have a forum automatically. So all the forums show up here. But once again, something that needs to change. I spent some time talking to my daughter about it yesterday, and I don't want this, if this was 6 across, it might be okay. But really what it needs to be is probably in a Reddit format where you would see directories. You would see how much traffic, kind of like this activities page. So if I go in there and I see the last things that happened, and I would also see, like on Reddit, I would see a group and how many people have, logged into that group and answered questions, right? So that's a lot of times why people use a resource like this. They want to go to, find out something about Beckhoff controllers. They go to the Beckhoff group, right? Go to the forums in the Beckhoff group, which, see, once again, I want this to show the forum a little more prominently. If I say feed, I think you get into the forums, right? So you can see the Beckhoff resources post, and you can see this post. And of course, these are both my posts, but I would anticipate pretty quickly that Beckhoff support, which is actually Ilias, he may post something here that would be important information about, Beckhoff technical stuff. And as I mentioned, he's a lot more technical than I am on Beckhoff. So I would anticipate his information, his posts would be a lot more technical than probably mine, which are just posting these resources. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at on this platform. Brand new platform, less than a week old. Anybody can join. This is the admin view. So what you see is my WordPress view, but there is a sign in or sign up. If you go to community.automationllc.com, anybody can join. Anybody can create a profile, right? So there's some people that have created profiles. Some of these are folks I work with. Some of them are Academy members. Quick note about that, like Evan here was imported from the Academy members. Some of these things, these little signs, I hadn't noticed this, but for instance, if you connect to somebody, it shows up in your profile that you're connected to that person. So in a lot of ways, it's like other, social sites. But the goal that I have for this site ultimately is to be a good resource. So people can go here and find help in whatever different interest that they have. So that's where the interest groups come from: entrepreneurs, systems integrators. Don't know what other kind of groups may be created here. A little bit about creating groups. So one of my goals, of course, I've created this free site, but it's not free for me. I have to pay to create this site. So people might ask, well, then what's in it for you? Why are you making this available to the public? Well, something kind of interesting that came out of this is if somebody wants to create a group like Automation NTH, I drilled down there, anybody who is a gold member of the Academy can create a group. I would anticipate that most people would create the group for their own company, but they could create it for anything. So for instance, I created a Beckhoff group, and of course, Beckhoff support is welcome to, I may even ask them to administer this group, but they wouldn't have been able to create their own group, like a Beckhoff support group, right? With that name. So I had to create these entrepreneurs. These are general things. But if a company wanted to create a group, if they're a member of the Automation Academy, then they get to create a group, right? Gold members, I have only one platinum member. He actually is starting a company, so he has a lot of incentive to create a group because he wants to provide his services. He lives in Knoxville. He wants to provide services to the Knoxville area. So it sort of gives him a web page in a lot of ways, right? Just like, let's see, where's the NTH group? It's hard to drill down into this stuff. This, like I said, this will be, here we go, my groups. So if I go to Automation NTH's group, this is kind of what they get. So this is, they can put their own picture up here. They can create photo albums within this group. They could put a page that just describes what their company does, right? This is their group to do whatever they wish with. And so since they're one of my sponsors, that's natural, they get a group. There is another level, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this, but I have members, right? Anybody who's a subscribers, I guess is what it is. So if you sign in on this group, you're a subscriber. Anybody is, and anybody can create a profile and they can put whatever they want to. If they are a member, that is actually silver member and above in the Academy, they can put their website on and they can do like Beckhoff support did, which is actually Ilias, but he created his profile as Beckhoff support. If he were a silver member of the Academy, he would be able to put his website on there, and then his profile would become to a degree, his web page, and he can connect with other people and do whatever he wants. And then the groups, of course, like I said, are gold members and above. So this is incentive for, some people, the Automation Academy is very automation specific. So it's kind of like, why would a company want to join the Automation Academy other than so that their company employees could get all the documents and watch all the videos? That's true. That's possible. But some other companies maybe don't need that, right? They're already very technical. They don't need to train their people on PLC programming, things like that. But here's another reason to join, right? My memberships are, one's $29.99 a month. That's the one that allows you to get into all the videos. You can do video training. You can take courses. You can upload things from the library. And then the silver members are just library members. So they're the ones who would get the website, able to post the website on their profile. This is already set up in here. And then, of course, the gold members are allowed to create a group. So that's kind of the company connection. So that's for people to ask what's in a social site. For me, that's what's in it, right? Is that, hey, join the Automation Academy and you get a group, or you get a profile with your website and a link on it. Is that important now? No, it's not. This is obviously not a popular site or anything else, but as it's branded and as it's advertised, I hope IO Central becomes a very good automation resources and help forum. Kind of like, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is pretty good for that, but it's mixed with a whole lot of people doing, I don't know what, social media or business or human resources or, gosh, who knows, cooking, whatever people do, right? Whatever their job is, they're on LinkedIn and they're half the time looking for other jobs. And there's a lot of people that are doing shameless plugs for themselves on there. This site is going to be heavily moderated. I don't want people coming on here and posting links to jihad videos or something, that I'm going to nip in the bud very quickly. I will remove people that do that. This is a, mostly IO Central, as it implies, is going to be a industrial automation business resource. That's the goal. It is open to anybody, and there will be many different interest groups. So the only one I see on here right now is John. How you doing, John? John may just be kind of logged
Sorry
in,
about that.
saying hi.
There
we are.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm on my phone. Sorry.
You there, John?
Yeah, I was just on my phone, so I had to get the unmute
See
going.
if I've got my sound turned down. No, I'm up, but I can't hear you. In any case, that's what this is about. You may have your mic turned. I see you're unmuted, but in any case,
is this any better?
That's what it is.
Is this any better?
Right? Again, this will say IO Central. I wonder if I can log in incognito. How do you do that? If I just type in community.automationllc.com. Nope, I don't have the sign up and sign in buttons. There is a way to do that, and I'm not very good at it. See, new incognito window. There we go. Let's try this. Community automationllc.com. Gone incognito. So I just learned this. I'm not very good. There we go. So this is what it would look like, right? If you just landed on this activity page or whatever, you would have had these right up at the top. You would have sign in, sign up. This is what your page would look like. You would not be an administrator. So that's the difference between logging in incognito as a user or logging in as an administrator. So that's interesting. Yeah, I just learned this. I'm not, like I said, I'm an old guy, so I don't know all the new technology and everything, but this is how that works. So now I'm logged in as anybody who comes to the site. This is what it would look like. The members page, same thing. You have a sign in or sign up, and anybody can do this. So if somebody logs in, I see, wow, 55 members. That's a lot of members. So this is what anybody would see, right? They would see all the members. They would see their profiles. I think you can see, yes, their profiles, even if you are not signed in, right? You can see this. So you can see here Beckhoff support, at Beckhoff support. Let's see if I go back. Pick up somebody else. Nikki, I don't know if she put much of a profile on here, just her nickname. Oh, about me, right? So she did put a link in here. That is Nikki's. She's pretty active on LinkedIn, for instance. There's her. Members, groups. So this is what it would look like, again, for anybody logging in. Recently active, most members. You can sort all these yourself. Again, you can look at these in a grid view, or you can look at it in a list view. One of the things I've got to work out is the forums don't do that. You can't go list view and grid view. And I want this to be bulletin board style. This really needs to be that way, because there are more forums than there are groups. Right, so you can see some of the other things here. And then you can see the activity down at the bottom, all discussions. You can log into people's discussions, people's posts, and that's how that would work. So no questions, no comments. John popped in for a while, but is no longer here. So I think I am going to probably call it a day on this webinar. But that is a look at it. Hopefully, right, everybody understands the idea behind all this. I put a couple welcome messages in there. Welcome to the Siemens Group. Welcome to the Allen Bradley Rockwell Group. If you have any questions, ask me on those. NTH folks, right? I've had a few people join from Automation NTH. Message for anyone who shows up here. Matt Weaver joined. So hello, Beckhoff Group. That's what the activity feed does for you. So one last look, activity feed, members. Here's everybody's profiles. You can see those groups. Remember to drill down in the groups, right? If you end up in global resources, you have to go to subgroups. I intend to change that. North America resources, you can drill down. But right now you have to hit subgroups. This needs to be cleaner. I realize that. Tennessee, right? Organizers, subgroups. So that's a little bit of a pain right now. Automation NTH in my company. For instance, John was here. John owns a company in Georgia. He would have North America Resources, Georgia, subgroups, whatever his company name is, right? So that's how that would work. Other than that, like I said, I will probably have on the activity page, which will be the landing page, there will be something like a banner up here, and I would say featured groups. And the featured groups could be based on activity, right? If a lot of people are doing stuff in that group, then I might put them up there as a featured group. Obviously, if somebody sponsors me, like Automation NTH does, I would put them up as a featured group. You know, and that's sort of advertisement for them. That's the way that would work. Forums, like I said, right now, this needs to be bulletin board style. And if you go to the Academy, let's see what happens there. It actually goes to the login page. And right now, since I'm incognito, right, I can't get there, right? I would have to log in. So, right, all these things, let's make sure this works. Library, definitely don't want people to be able to get to the library. Good. Uh-oh, you don't have access. That's right. This is a paid site. So if you want to join this site, you have to join, right? This is unfortunately a paid site. So that's the incognito part of this. That's what it would look like to all users. If there are no questions or anything, then I'm going to get out of here. We will leave it here on the activity feed. And thank you, anybody who sees this on YouTube, logs in later. I would encourage you to join the group. And let's see here if we can get back to my nice little PowerPoint here. Right. Next webinar is going to be September 23rd, 2022. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and edit this right here so that everybody has the address of my new community site. And I'm going to write IO, right? IO Central. I told you I can't type. And this is https://community .automation llc.com. And we'll make it pretty, make it red, make this nice blue, underline like a link. And there you go. So join the Automation Academy. The next webinar is September 23rd, 2022. There's the address of the Automation Academy. And here is the address of IO Central. So I'd like to thank everybody for showing up. I hope you enjoyed this webinar if you see it now or if you see it later. And thank you very much. We'll see you.